Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on Capnclyde's MTG News. And with that said, what are we going to talk about today? Well, you'd think with all the rumors and news and stuff coming out from August 24th, which I've already in a previous video talked about, report on something about that. Well, not this time. You may be thinking to yourself, well, Clyde, why the heck are you making some news then? Well, so I got an email today from eBay. And before we get started on that, let's talk a little bit about the channel. So the channel is based off of box openings that I filmed to show you guys. I take those cards I get from those box openings, sell most of them, keep some for myself because I am a greedy collector, and I use that to help fund more box openings. Obviously, I don't make enough money to do that, but I do still do it to the best of my ability. With that said, if anybody watching the channel would like me to do a box opening for them, if they want to buy a box of cards, have me open it on the channel, then ship you the cards, in the description below, you're going to see a email to my store site. Feel free to reach out at that email. Get a hold of me. We'll work something out, and I'll start doing that for people. With that said, I do get boxes at a semi-discount, so I can do maybe a little better deal than most. But honestly, uh, we'll just see what we can do because shipping is expensive, and as you know, shipping is going up. So without further ado, before we get started talking about that, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and in the link below is also a link to the eBay store where you can buy the cards I'm talking about for these box openings. So it helps support the store. I do appreciate it. Put some comments down below. It helps feed that YouTube algorithm and gets the channel some views. Now, with all that said, I've made a video about shipping prices going up and how Wizards has already talked about having to raise prices because of it. We talked about inflation and all that stuff. So it's pretty much going to be a mainstream thing, right? So when I talk about me getting something from eBay, this here is a little snippet from my email. You'll notice here that eBay started trying to be the #1 card seller in the world by trying to make a way for everybody to sell stuff safe, securely, so forth, so forth, so on. So for anybody who didn't know, on eBay currently, or was, a 1 ounce card would ship for 51 cents with ship tracking for $20 or less. If it was 2 ounces, it was 71. 3 ounces was their limit, which was 91. So that's going to go up 2 cents. So it goes to 53, then 73, and then 93. So not real big impact. It does cut into profit margins though, which you can watch my other videos about profit margins. Um, so with that said, how big of an impact do I think this is going to be to the TCG world and eBay? Honestly, I don't think it's going to be an impact at all. The reason I say that is using regular stamps or forever stamps, first class shipping, so forth and so on, without tracking, those stamp prices are going up. So to think that the prices for regular cards like this to not go up is kind of just being silly. Now, with that said, what I recommend is, okay, A, is this a good deal to use this? B, why do you say that? So there's lots of questions go around that because those are very vague. So first off, is this a good deal to use? Question A, yes and no. So here's the thing, guys. When you use this fee or this ability on eBay, 51 cents is basically the full price of a stamp, a little less. I think they're around 55 right now. Um, but it does give you tracking. Now, the thing about that is if you use this, you have to have $1.25 minimum to even see a few pennies in return after you take all those shipping costs into considerations, envelopes, packaging, this stamp, eBay seller fees. All that stuff rips away at that 125 and you barely get a few cents, like maybe 10 cents. See my previous videos over those. Which that video is obviously going to change. I'm going to have to go through, probably go back through and talk about this again. Now, with that said, that's if the card's $1.25. Obviously, the more expensive the card is, the more seller fees you have, but your shipping cost really doesn't change. So, how much can you get out of this kind of thing before your profit becomes negligible and you shouldn't use it again? So, here's what I think. What I do, Anything around $10 to $20, I will use this option. Now, with it going to 53 cents, would I still use it? Yes, because the high price of the card is going to offset that 2 cents. And the tracking you get for that is well worth the money. Because most items below $10, I use a regular first class stamp. Now, the only reason I do that, um, which is actually what some people would say is a little more expensive than actually just using this, is if you go on eBay and other certain places, you can get rolls of stamps relatively cheap. I just bought, I think it was a couple months ago now though, but I bought literally, I think it was 2,000 forever stamps, and I basically paid after shipping and sales tax, and I had an eBay coupon, yada yada yada. I basically got those stamps for 38 cents. So cards less than $10 that I use those stamps on, I get almost a whole extra quarter out of. Which you may say to yourself, look, Captain, that's not a lot of money. Well, I'm here to tell you, I go through a couple hundred envelopes a month, and 100 envelopes at 25 cents, a good chunk of change. Plus, um, to do that, that's the only way you can actually list a lot of cards, and really make that kind of profit back, because you really got to do these box openings. I got to try to milk as much as I can out of that profit so I can buy more boxes to open for you guys right now. And later on in life, maybe when the channel gets a little bigger, what have you, we're trying to hit the 1,000 mark, right? And I actually start making money for doing these videos. Maybe some of that can change, and I can offer a little better shipping and even start giving out prizes to people. But until then, I got to try to make this work, right? And a lot of people out there want to do the same thing. So, something else you may be asking, well, it says 1, 2, and 3 ounces, and there's a 20 cents difference between every level. What does that 20 cents get me? So, let's talk about that for a little bit, right? So, the things I like to use when I ship, there's a couple of them, is the first thing I like to use, for example, is this is your basic top loader. The problem with the top loader, it does protect very well, but it's also heavy. If you use a top loader, you can probably get 1 to 2 cards in it, for an ounce, so you can get it for 50, what would be now 53 cents. But any more than 2 cards, and it's going to be too heavy, and you got to go up to 2 ounces. You get to 4 cards, you're probably 4 or 5 cards. You're probably going to have to go to 3 ounces, because actually 4 or 5 cards will barely fit in a top loader, and most times they won't fit in a top loader, so it's not even usable. But for those high valued cards, anywhere from 10, 12, $15 and up, it's a great option to keep the card protected and use that stamp with tracking. Now, the other option I like to use is here I have a little cardboard. So it's got my little shilling address on there, whatever. You notice the thing here. It folds over, it wraps around the cards. I tape it shut. It's a piece of cardboard, keeps the cards flat, and it does a pretty good job of that. This will hold anywhere from 4 to 6 cards easily. Um, and you can still go for under an ounce, because the cardboard is very lightweight compared to that top loader. And I've used as much as even you could probably get 10 or 12 cards in there for less than 3 ounces, but it really warps it, so you got to really tape the dog shit out of it. But it's still doable, right? I really wouldn't recommend that, because the more cards you stick in there, the fatter the envelope gets. It doesn't bend as easy, and it can cause damage during the automatic sorting process, which are the big machines that they use. Um, but still, the other difference here is this costs pennies compared to the top loader. Um, and that's in my other video. I don't remember the exact cost, but you can save 5 cents to a dime by using this instead of a top loader. Um, and to be honest with you, I've only had one person complain about it. Nobody else has. They like this, and I've had cards shipped to me in these, which is why I know that they're good. The one person that did complain that there was some damage on the card, to be honest with you, it probably happened in shipping, through the process, because I've even had eBay sellers send me pictures of cards that I sent to them that were damaged, and they were in top loaders. I mean, the machine literally grabbed the card and just mangled the top loader along with the envelope, and they still sent it to them. So yeah, that's another reason that if you're going to do something expensive, you might as well put it in a top loader. Get the free insurance of $20 on anything like that. Send it to them. If it does get mangled, you can get your money back, and everybody's all good. And with that said, too, another thing that actually helps you stay under that 1 ounce, 2 ounce, and 3 ounce mark is you really got to use smaller envelopes. And I mean envelopes like this. This is a 6 3/4 envelope. They come about 100 to a box. If you buy them in bulk, again, you can get good deals on them. I buy these in bulk from Walmart. And you can get them around 97 cents for 100, which is really dirt cheap. That's basically a penny an envelope, so it doesn't cost a whole lot. And that top loader will fit probably about right about here. From here over. The cardboard goes just a little bit further. If you want to be real fancy, you can put the top loader inside the cardboard to help out. But I'm gonna be honest with you, if the machine grabs a hold of it, ain't nothing gonna protect that card. It's just gonna eat it. Um, and if you're selling cards for $1.25 and one of your cards get eight, every 100 sales, I just write it off as theft or loss at the end of the tax year because that's really what it is. Um, so with that said, that's my kind of feedback on this. Do I like the fact that they're raising prices? No, I don't. But I often only use the 51-cent one, so an extra 2 pennies isn't going to kill me. And to be honest with you, a lot of times when you ship these cards, that tracking number to guarantee delivery is really what you need, especially when you get past $10. It's so easy to get hosed. I try not to use it and use first class shipping. And every once in a great while, once again, every 200 or so, one of them bites me in the butt. Just like the other day, somebody got with me on eBay and they're like, hey, I didn't get my car. And of course, now I got to give them a refund because eBay won't listen to what I have to say, even though that they said their card hasn't arrived and it's been 3 months. And eBay refund policy is still stating that I have to give them a refund. It is ridiculous. So anything expensive, no matter what it is, use tracking. That way you can say, I sent it, it was delivered, blah, 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 blah. So but even then, I mean, they can talk about it's the wrong card. It wasn't in the description. But at least they can't argue that you didn't deliver it to them because they had tracking in the mail. People just keep using that excuse of no tracking to try to scam people to get just a little bit of money back here and there, and it's just not worth it. And for me personally, I'd rather just pay a couple extra pennies for tracking, the extra 5 or 10 cents to make people honor what they buy. Some people and some long-term customers I won't do that with. I'll actually use the stamp and just send it to them normally because I know that they're good customers. But at the same time, I also cut them slack too. Like for example, some of my real long-term customers, they'll get in there and they'll order like 6, 7 cards. Or like one of my other customers just earlier today, they ordered 4 cards and it came up to $5. Well, guess what? Uh, four cards to one person. If I had to piecemeal those cards out at $1.25 a piece or $1.50 a piece, I would lose, per stamp minimum 30 cents, 40 cents, probably 50 cents or so. So by them ordering 4 cards at once, they have already saved me all kinds of money in shipping. I'll buy the 51 now 53 cent tracking number to stick on there just because they've earned it. If you buy 2 cards for me, that's probably what I'm going to do, unless I'm willing to take the hit on what the price is and get it sent back to me. Um, and also, too, it's nice for the patron. It's nice for me. It keeps me safe. It keeps them safe. If it's below $20, it's even better because then we're both safe because nobody loses any money. So just things to think about, guys. Keep that on top of your head. Try to stay on top of things. And as always, one last time, here's the email. Here's the price listing. You can get a top loader and 1 to 2 cards, for 53 cents. 4 to 6 cards inside the cardboard for 73. And you can do more. You can do up to 10 probably for the 3 ounce one if you use cardboard. But once again, it might not bend easy, so just be careful on that. But once again, as long as it's below $20, the cards are insured, right? So, um, not terrible. I think this is probably the best thing that eBay could have done for sellers. I still think their policies in general are just trash because they really don't protect anybody in the long run. If you know how to manipulate the system, you'll get what you want. Um, so, on the side note with that, if you buy from me and I have to take a refund or a hit, depending on the circumstances, like for example, if uh, 2 months later, like, oh, hey, I didn't get the car, I need to refund my $10, and you put a case in with eBay, I'm probably just gonna block you from my account because I just don't need that kind of stuff on my store. And I kind of suggest that to all the sellers too. If you get burned once, don't let them burn you again. There's a blocking system on eBay and most other sites. Just block them. I mean, even if it's not their fault, um, you just need to protect yourself because there's also been times where I've had to work with tough customers where they've been real nice and they didn't even ask for refunds. But the problem was their mailing address. And I just kind of told them, I was like, look, I'm going to have to block you from my site. Not because I don't like you or anything like that, but I have such trouble with the mailing address that the shipping and the postage it triples or doubles because sometimes they find their house, sometimes they don't. It gets returned to me. I got to remail it. Then they're not happy because it takes them months to get the cards because the postal service don't know how to deliver to the sticks or wherever it is that they are, and it's a big mess, right? Um, so food for thought. If you're gonna really do something like this, if you know you have problems with your email, with your mailing address, whatever, get a PO box before you order. That way you get the stuff on time and you actually get it when you're supposed to. Secondly, if you're on the other side of that and you're having trouble getting cards to an individual, you're better off just don't let them build your stuff because the system causes too much hassle for you, give you negative feedback when you really don't need it. And once again, it's not to be mean, it's just a business decision, right? You got to do what you got to do to protect yourself and your business and your customers in the long run when it's all said and done. So as always, guys, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed the video. And as always, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, remember to be kind. And if you guys want to see a little more stuff like this, put it down in the comment section below or email me and let me know what kind of videos about this kind of stuff you'd like to see. Do you want me to remake my old videos about how I make the money and what my price gap is and so forth and so on, or maybe even a live stream? You let me know. So, thanks again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with some actual magic news of some kind. So until then, take it easy, and I hope I see you across from the game table.